So when I came to Dr. Coats, I was open to a new world of how much the mouth affects the rest of the body. And I started doing research on, all the different things that she was talking about and reading books. And I realized that I had trouble with a tongue tie all of my life and I never knew it. And so it went completely undiagnosed. I couldn't latch as a baby, so my mom was not able to breastfeed me. And she thought that it was her fault. The doctors essentially told her that because of the shape of her breast, it was her fault that I couldn't nurse. And that turned out not to be true. And when I was a small child, I had a speech impediment where I couldn't enunciate certain words. And so my mom did speech therapy with me as a child before I went to kindergarten so that I could speak correctly and enunciate things properly. And so all of the things that pointed towards, having trouble with the tongue tie never got diagnosed until now I'm 37. And at that point in time, my husband and I had a lot of long discussions about was it really worth going through the whole process? Was it worth the expense? I had lived my life up to that point seemingly fine. And so what really was going to be the difference? And I can say that I had such a dramatic improvement after the tongue tie surgery that my husband actually asked, do you think that I should go through with this too? So it does make a big difference. Over the next few weeks, what I realized was my neck, all the pain in my neck had subsided. So it went down, like it decreased by 90%. The other thing that I noticed as I started to go on walks after the surgery was that my hips were really loose. And I almost had to kind of rebalance myself because the tension was just totally gone from my hips and from my legs. And the most unusual thing I think that I realized was that my pinky toes had always curled under and they were very tight and I could never move them. And my mom was really concerned about that as a child. She had commented on to several doctors that my toes were deformed for some reason. And after the tongue surgery, I felt like a release of those toes and they've straightened out. And when I walk, I feel like I can balance on all 5 of my toes instead of just on my big toes or on the ball of my foot. And so my balance has really changed and shifted. But, most of all, I think that the tension that I had in my back was just, I didn't realize how bad it was until I experienced not having it anymore. And even I have a chiropractor that uses an instrument that measures the temperature of your spine. And he commented after I had the tongue release surgery what a huge difference in the temperature change that he was measuring. So in a location where he knew my spine was out of whack, normally the temperature gauge would go off the chart and just like go crazy. And after the tongue release surgery, there in a spot where my back was out of whack, there's a small shift in the temperature change, but he commented on what a big improvement it was. So I'm experienced benefits in all types of ways. So if you're thinking about having a tongue release, I would encourage you to, follow the procedures that they put in place. I did a lot of speech therapy exercises, which were really important in preparing me for the surgery. And so if you're diligent about that and you're, follow all of the guidance that they recommend, then I would say it's a great thing to do.